Rahul, IBM's just done some research into the challenges companies must overcome to succeed in today's AI-fueled, competitive landscape. What were the key findings here?
Absolutely, Kevin. The research has been phenomenal. We surveyed over 400 executives across the globe. And look, I'll get to the findings in a minute, but the interesting part about the AI revolution that's happening today is challenges of today become opportunities of tomorrow. The technology is moving so rapidly that it's just insane. I mean, it's hard to keep up with the pace of change. But that being said, the interesting findings that came out of our survey around the AI challenges included quite a variety of things where uh, number one challenge was the executives, the CEO, the leaderships of organizations are struggling with this thing called technical debt. It was supposed to go down based on the actions that they'd been taking. But in fact, it's been increasing year over year because of the short term gains that are driving some of the decision making process. So I think that's number one challenge, and part of that is the executives, the leadership needing to make a change, a pivot towards a truly hybrid by design mindset, which means hybrid cloud, hybrid AI, using the right technology for the right outcomes. And it's sometimes it becomes tough because you need to balance the short-term gains with long-term investments or long-term gains with short-term investments, whichever the case might be. But it's something to keep in mind. So that was number one finding that came out. The other finding, and you've heard about agentic AI. It's been around for a few weeks, months maybe, but it's already top of mind in terms of how it's going to take over the way we work in an organization. So, kind of transforming the way an employee will work in the organization, redefining work, redefining workflows. So, it's not as much that our clients or these leaders are looking at AI as taking on jobs, but they're absolutely looking at how agentic AI is actually going to help employees work together with them, but redefine the way they work to become much more productive, much more useful, much more outcome focused. And outcome is the key word, right? Not as much the cost or the productivity, but what is the outcome? If the outcome is not transforming the way and providing uh, a path back to your strategic imperatives, it's not worth doing. I think the third finding that came out was really around um, AI and the location of resources. Where do you have your resources? Now, a lot of our clients operate in multiple countries, and I think it becomes important in terms of how they use their strategy to gain access to the right resources in the right places. Let me unpack that just a little bit. Resources could be people. Well, where in the globe are there more or easier access to AI skills? Where are the investments being made? Can we tap into that geography or that location and start building capabilities that'll drive work for the rest of the organization? That could be one. The second most important piece around that is the regulations and some of the regulations and laws that prohibit the transfer of data across countries. So in that construct, organizations have to be very intentional in terms of what they do with their data, what infrastructure they use, because in some countries, public clouds may not yet be available. So how do you then drive another layer of infrastructure where the absence of public cloud is not felt? Data is still sovereign, cloud sovereign, and you're driving all the processing inside your own country and abiding by the laws. I think the fourth one, which kind of is what I see a lot with my clients grappling in their minds, is how do you fund this AI revolution? So it's upended the IT budget cycles, and really what that means is the budgets that executives are trying to find for AI are not net new budgets always. They're stopping some of the discretionary work that's going on elsewhere in the organization and funneling these budgets back into the generative AI or AI engagements. That may be an okay strategy for the short term, but in the long term, if AI has to succeed, the generative AI, I call it hybrid AI, both traditional and generative AI together, if that has to succeed, these engagements have to become self-funding very, very quickly. And the key to that really is looking at areas to apply this technology where there's maximum benefit to be had, as opposed to toying around with or playing with use cases in a bunch of different areas or spreading the budget across the organization. Our clients and organizations have to be very intentional in, here is the pool of work that if I change dramatically is going to give me maximum benefit, and the business case around that then self-funds that initiative in a way. And you need some, just like in water motors, water pumps, you need the priming, you need that initial drops of water to prime the pump. Similarly, you need an initial priming budget for AI, but then it's fabulous if you can create the set of engagements and sequence them in a way, daisy chain them in a way that the output of the first then starts generating enough value to start self-funding the entire cycle. In fact, only in 2024, based on the statistics, only 18% of projects were funded from new money, right? Rest were really coming from existing IT budgets. And the last finding was really around the AI product and service innovation. I mean, I'll tie this back to my industry, telecommunications, a little bit. One of the key opportunity areas or challenges, however you want to see it, for our industry is revenue growth. And revenue growth, given that in a lot of geographies, telecommunications have become mature industry because the technology is available, accessible to many, the growth is only going to come from innovation around products and services. So that's top of mind in terms of using AI to drive new products and service innovation. However, the business models, the way organizations work, and this is not a telecommunications specific comment, but generically, not all organizations are set up to drive these new business models. And what do I mean by new business models? It's really around the ability of an organization to continue to keep listening to the voice of the customer, whether it's through the interactions that they have with themselves or through third-party data, external data, social media, and listen for what they're talking about in terms of their needs, unmet needs, or needs that they're meeting through their competitors. And taking that very systematically through the use of technology, including AI and automation, to drive new sets of products and services. But then again, not all products and services can be done or developed by an organization themselves. I mean, resources are limited. And that's where the power of ecosystem and partnerships comes in. So being able to listen, use data, use technology, including AI, to come up with these ideas, working together with partners and ecosystems to complement what you have with their offerings, and then providing these new and differentiated products and services back to your customers. So I think those are the key findings that we had in our survey. Very insightful, very true based on the work that I do with my clients. So looking forward to how organizations actually address this going forward. And we are here to help support them.
Now, if I may, you mentioned with the findings, you've called out a couple already that were very relevant in your world in the telco space. If you're chatting with telco execs in the morning, if you were giving them the elevator pitch on what they need to look for or what they need to do in 2025, what would it be?
2025 is going to be an exciting year for the telecommunications industry. From an overall strategy point, Kevin, I don't think it's going to massively change from what the strategy is, or as I call the opportunity and challenges, which really centered around revenue growth, massive cost restructuring, and ensuring that the customer experience is stellar for their customers across any and all of the channels that they operate in a secure way. So those challenges and opportunities will remain. Those are the three key pieces that our industry is grappling with today. However, what we saw this year was a marked change in the way they approach these three problems or challenges or opportunities. I'll call it opportunities going forward, through the lens of applying AI and automation. Right? This was the year when a lot of experimentation was still happening. It started last year with some organizations. I think the access to technology has improved this year. So more of the telecommunications service provider are experimenting with this technology. In 2025, what I foresee happening, or what my clients should be keeping an eye out on, is scaling from experimentation into production. Now, the caveat around all of that is the use cases that they select, the areas that they select to deploy this technology in, should, again, go back to my point around the trends, should result in significant outcomes. With any new technology, any new change, Kevin, what's really important is to drive that sense of accomplishment across the organization. Right? And so if you don't pick the right area, and the impact of when you actually succeed in deploying that technology is not that great, people go, meh, that's okay. I mean, we've seen this before, right? However, if you choose the right use case where the impact is significant and you can celebrate that win, the whole organization starts paying attention and starts looking at pointers on, oh, where can I use that in my area? What can I drive? And the key to that also, Kevin, is strong leadership, sponsorship of all of this. In my work within the industry, I've seen a significant number of clients where the CEO or the CIO or a CXO is owning the outcome of the AI initiatives. And that's where they're modeling their day-to-day life, in that they're sharing their experiences working with AI. They're champions of AI within the organization. Contrast that with clients where that is not happening, and you can see the stark difference in terms of the results that the two organizations are driving. Right? So that's one piece. But again, on this theme of AI, I believe in 2025, the big difference we're going to see is movement of selection of use cases away from cost restructuring into revenue driving. So experimentation, and given all the concerns around data security, privacy, the industry took the right steps of confining the current set of use cases to internal use cases, where it's more around efficiency, it's more around cost. But slowly, as they're becoming comfortable with deploying those and grasping the security aspect, they are looking now to apply the same rigor in terms of external facing, customer facing use cases, driving revenue growth. So those are some of the things that I foresee in 2025 for our industry. Very excited about that.
Now, as we head into 2025, any significant events coming up in the first half of the year where you meet up, all your customers, partners, where you get together with all this?
Absolutely. I am very excited for March this year. Usually it's February when this event happens, but it's March. It's going to be Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. That's our premier event. That's an event which has traditionally seen over 100,000 participants converging in the beautiful city of Barcelona to see and experience the advancements that are happening across the industry. And one of the interesting factoids from last year is, if I'm not wrong, about 50% of those participants actually came from industries which were not telcos. So the mix is changing. It's just our industry, telecommunications industry, sits in a sweet spot where it impacts so many different industries, not just consumer life. Connectivity is everything. But again, over the last few years, the theme that we have seen is going beyond connectivity because that's where the growth is. Back to my point around what are the opportunities that telecommunications industries have, it's around revenue growth. So very excited about that. We will have our booth at MWC. It's at prime location. So whoever is listening, you'll be more than welcome at our booth. Come and see what advancements we are looking at. There are going to be a couple of really neat activations right up front. I'm not at liberty to talk about them, but they needless to say, they're going to be crowd catchers. So please do walk by. We do have an area where we invite our clients and prospects to give them a view to what we are doing in a variety of different areas. Again, linking back to the needs of the telecommunications industry around revenue growth, cost restructuring, customer experience. So we have 4 what we call as private solution labs, where we demonstrate a set of IBM technologies, IBM consulting outcomes and offerings, as well as our interaction with ecosystem partners, as well as our clients. So one of the booths is going to feature revenue generating opportunities, what we are working with either our partners or our clients. Another private solution lab is going to feature everything around network automation. We have a rich portfolio of technology within our industry from IBM, which talks about everything right from observability in the network to AI to even foundation models that are network focused that help in a variety of network automation tasks. Another private solution lab is going to focus on our AI platform, which is Watson X, and how we have open sourced our foundation models, Granite 3.0, 3.1, which is completely open sourced, available to our clients with an Apache 2 license for them to use that model commercially. And a couple of use cases around how we're using the open source nature to incrementally drive the knowledge base of that particular model, and then switching that to how IBM Consulting themselves are making use of this platform in delivering quality and value and speed to our clients. So those are some of the sparklers that I would like to mention about our upcoming MWC and IBM's presence at that event. Very excited. And you're more than welcome, Kevin. We'll make sure you get a red carpet welcome there.
Well, 2024 was an interesting year, and certainly 2025 is going to be more interesting. And you guys have a plan. So, hey, good stuff. Thanks very much.
My pleasure, Kevin. Thank you so much.